It's summer heat on Music Choice, and we got what's hot.
Somewhere in the crowded field of new music grows an artist destined to forever mark the musical landscape. And we're going to pick them. It's the show that's cultivating the next breakout artists. This is Fresh Crops.
When I was 16, I would have been one of those people, one of those kids that committed suicide if God didn't show up in my life and say, I'm real and I'm here and I love you.
This isn't just another case of a hard rock act who are selling some albums. It's a tale of life, death, and redemption.
I got a tumor in my throat.
And a band that's willing to bear everything to deliver the message of their music.
I don't know. I don't normally talk about God very much in interviews.
This is Flyleaf. Fresh Crops has had our eye on Flyleaf since 2005, when they released their self-titled debut. And now we're telling their story through 2 interviews, one past and one present, conducted over a year apart. The saga that would become Flyleaf begins in Texas, with a near-missed opportunity. The band members were all part of different projects in the local music scene, when guitarist Samir auditioned Lacey for his band, only to turn her down.
My heart just goes, I think I shared one tear, and I was like, well, I'm done with this, you know? I actually was gonna give up.
But when that project fell apart, the two met up again, now with drummer James and guitarist Jared. And this time, the spark was unmistakable.
We played that first song, and it was magic, chills.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Awesome.
Bassist Pat, meanwhile, was in a competing band, literally.
They were together for like 2 months, and people already like talking, you know, wow, this Lacey Mosley has this band. And I was like, oh, our band's doing so much better than our band.
We did a battle of bands and we beat your band.
Yeah, they just smoked us, and I was like, I just remember walking around my backyard just like, why is this band so much better than my band?
Pat wanted in, but everyone's mutual insecurities almost kept them apart.
When I first saw Pat, he came to watch the show, and he just looked so, like, cool. And, like, stood there in this cool stand, and he was just like...
It was a front, obviously.
We're not hard enough for him. He's not going to want to be in our band. I was really nervous because he was standing there right there in the front, just a really cool person, like, and we're not cool at all. We're just like,
please let me in this band.
Hi, we're Flyleaf, and this song is I'm So Sick. It's about how sometimes the world can be a messed up place and how to deal with that.
Flyleaf is the type of band its members are proud to be part of, and the affection Lacey has for the guys, they share for her.
She sees things that we would never see. It's that balance that's just, it's just an amazing thing to have, you know? Like.
Thank you. Wow, that's nice. I didn't know.
I'm so sick.
That unique chemistry has taken them further than even they hoped for.
When we started the band, it was just for fun.
We're just trying to play a show, and we're thinking, oh, one day we're gonna come to New York and do this interview with Music Choice.
Oh, I never thought that.
Truthfully, the band nearly didn't make it this far, and Lacey nearly didn't make it at all. To fully realize the meaning in the petite singer's vocals, one needs to go back to her teenage years, when Lacey was waging a losing war against severe depression.
I started seeing life in a really dark way. I'm like, why am I waking up every day and no one could give me a good enough reason?
Salvation may have come from an unlikely place.
Well, at the time, I had gotten sick. Like, I got a tumor in my throat, you know, everything, so... I was the kind of person who was just angry at everyone that never went through anything. It's weird talking about this. So don't talk about this.
Members of the local church prayed for Lacey, and she says their prayers were heard, something her doctors were never able to explain.
They looked at the 2 pictures and they were like, I don't understand. It was here yesterday and it's not here today, and it was like gone completely.
I don't deserve you, 'cause I'm not there for you.
When she brought the news back to the church, she joined a chorus of worshipers, and in that moment, the girl who nearly succumbed to anger and disease was reborn.
And I was like, I'm singing about something that has to do with everything, and it's like the biggest story and the biggest reason to sing, and I felt like I can't ever sing for anything else.
All the members of Flyleaf shared that religious faith, and it's a prominent message in their music.
Our band's like living proof of like us having faith, because the way things have happened like with us is just ridiculous, you know?
There's story after story of miracles.
You know, we were nobodies, you know, we were opening up for local bands and stuff like that. 3 years later, you know, we're in New York, you know, here with you guys, you know, doing an interview.
Some argue Flyleaf's message is at odds with their music, distinguished by screaming and aggression. But Flyleaf feel it's those people who are misguided.
If you heard God's voice, it would be sound of thunder or something loud and terrifying.
It can be scary in a certain context, but I mean, it's also glorious and like...
And urgent.
Yeah.
I think the most important thing about screaming in our music is the urgency of it. What are you gonna do when you walk in and you see someone, you see your loved one about to kill themselves? You're gonna scream at them. I love you. What are you doing? You're not gonna just be like, oh, I love you. You know, like Christian music. I mean, that's not the kids we're singing to.
Flyleaf's debut album recently went gold. The band appears primed for success, but are thankful for whatever fate may be written in their stars.
Who's to say, man? I don't. We could die tonight. We could become, you know, bazillionaires, or I don't know. We could just kind of fade off and become a Circuit City accountants, or I don't know.
Yes. But I mean, there's been so many amazing things we couldn't have experienced any other way, and I wouldn't take it back. But I wouldn't take back the bad either, because it's all going somewhere. I think it's all teaching and learning and leading somewhere.
Right on.
Every emerging band struggles to figure out the key to longevity, but something Lacey told us when we first met suggests they may have already found it.
When we're on stage and we play the songs that we wrote that have all the, you know, the deepest meaning, or like the songs that I feel the most when we play, the thing that keeps it real and the thing that keeps it passionate is just standing on stage in front of 3,000 people, a sold-out show, and remembering that's where I was and this is where I am. And there's so much hope in that.
If you liked Flyleaf, then check out these other Fresh Crop approved acts. Mute Math, The Graduate, and We Are the Fury.